Hi, I'm Steve. This is Fran. Today we're talking about full-size laundry, both front and top load.
All right, let's jump right into it. So first brand we're gonna cover here, Steve, Speed Queen.
Why do you look at it? I don't hate
We know.
You know, everywhere I get comments like, I hate Speed Queen. You know, we make more money than other brands. It's the most expensive brand we sell. The profit percentage is the same really between all the brands. So what do you think I should sell? And then when I knock it, everyone says, you know, making more money. It makes no sense. I love the brand, especially in the top loads.
Yeah.
I'm more partial to the 5 series. The
Yeah,
two
absolutely.
series, the TC and the TR. TR, the water moves the agitator, so it's quiet. It's better on delicate clothes. I don't see how the water doing the agitator really works all that well, but people like it. That's fine. The TC is where you get that, you know, the transmission and the motor, and it's all like in one place. You get that really aggressive agitation. Love that thing. Front serviceable. We love fixing these things because it's so easy to do. It's like the old Maytag. You just replace the belt. Fantastic. The only thing is, you know, for people watching this is, I hate saying it because, you know, I'm going to see it in the comments. It's $14.99. It's 3.5 cubic feet. Take the volume of the agitator out, it's under 3 cubic foot. Whereas other brands we're going to mention are 5 cubic feet and half the money. So you have to love it. And you're getting, you know, you're getting a 7-year warranty on most, 5 to 7 years. But you buy a 5-year warranty for like $300.
Yeah,
So
if you're looking at like traditional old school top load laundry, their TC5 series is the best. The most kind of similar to that, like I said, with the belt driven motor that's really kind of turning the clothes, uses a good amount of water, definitely less water than still some of the older machines, but will use more water than really a lot of the machines today. But if you're looking for something old school, really kind of turning your clothes, dirty laundry, it's hard to beat a Speed Queen.
warranty,
Yeah.
easy to fix. You know, with all this stuff, you know, you got to check service in your area because some are better than others in certain areas, and you gotta Google that. That's very important.
What do you think for a ranking?
We haven't talked about their front load.
Oh, yeah, front load.
A friend of mine has one of their front loads in her apartment. Small, super expensive. Now you're talking about $3,000
for a set.
I don't see the value in that personally. In terms of top loads, it's either an S or an A. It's the best we sell. If it's a good value for you, that's something you have to decide. In terms of what we love to sell, it's certainly an S. In terms of value, I think it's an A. Their front load, not so much. I don't think. But this is one of the things you need to look at before you buy.
All right, let's jump to LG.
Most reliable machines we sell based on real service calls, not influencer ratings. You know, we do about 33 to 35,000 service calls a year, every year. And every year LG is if it isn't at the top, it's number 2 by 0.1 of a percentage point. So it's really good, gives you good features. It's got good pricing. And I would say that 5.3 cubic foot top load at $849, that's a good piece to look at. Their front loads, if you want something with less technology, it's what, $650?
Yeah,
And it
3,400.
goes all the way up. I think they could do better with automatic dispensing, but in terms of features, price, this line is certainly an S.
Absolutely. And like I said, like you're kind of jumping up a little bit in your line to get the automatic dispenser really kind of in more in that $11, $12.99 price point. But super reliable machines, have a lot of great technology built into it with the app and being able to download additional cycles, which some other brands do too, but the LG actually makes it pretty easy to use with that as well.
And their WashTower is sensational.
Unbelievable. Yeah, if you're stocking laundry, it is well worth
you have the controls in the middle, and it matters, you know. Even though most of them now you can control the washer and dryer from the same interface, you know, which is nice in the Wi-Fi. And a lot of people say, I don't need smart laundry. The only time you need smart, having your countdown when you laundry's in basements is kind of nice. You have to go up and down the stairs. The WashTower makes it very accessible when you're stacking, and it's a freaking beautiful piece. Really nice.
Different colors.
So this is an S line both ways. Again, depending on service in your area, which goes to the next one, right? GE. So we're doing
Go to GE.
GE has service. Bodewell is the most extensive nationwide service. That doesn't mean it's a default in your area. But I like, you know, the gaskets with the Microban. So it eliminates mold because I'm always cleaning my gasket. If I don't remember Mold develops from standing water and mildew and all that stuff. And you're going to get a new gasket. And they put Microban in there. They've got the UltraFresh fan that fans it, so it dries all the moisture. They have it in their dispenser. They have it in their hoses. So you're not going to get the mold issue you can if you don't dry out your gasket.
Absolutely.
Like when I don't dry my gasket, I kind of notice something. But what you need to do if you don't have a G is dry the gasket, keep the door open. You'll be fine. But I like some of their features too. I like the dispenser. It's 32 load. You don't have to keep doing it. It releases at the right time. So you're not always loading stuff up. This is a very underrated line, I think.
No question. And like you said, like even the vent fresh is really easy to do. Kind of as soon as that washer is done, you close the door, it prompts you right then and there. You push the button, the vent fresh comes on. It's super quiet. It's not like it's a loud fan. It doesn't use a lot of energy or electricity or anything like that either. And it really does a nice job of drying everything out. The Microban, like you said, really nice touch everywhere within even that automatic dispenser, that's kind of an area that you tend to see a lot of that mold mildew buildup in washers, is with that automatic dispenser that can kind of get a little, really dirty and kind of letting that detergent sit there. I love the line. I think they do a really great job. We have the G washer. We have, I'm a family of 5. We do tons of laundry.
I like the top load too. The top load gives you that auto dispensing that most don't at a really affordable there. What is it? 5 cubic feet
Yeah.
and 750
And then they have
bucks.
the commercial series in their top load as well.
I don't like
Better warranty, but yeah.
the commercial series is basically a G. It's the G only smaller with a better warranty.
Yeah.
It's the same
Basically
basic
the
thing.
warranty.
With
Yeah.
and the way you can tell is like you go in a store and you can rock. It's on suspensions, right? So if you overload that, you can break the suspension over time, and that is like a super expensive repair. With Speed Queen, it's all in one area. It doesn't have the same suspension. It's much harder to do, much harder to overload as Speed Queen. But I'm not a big fan of that commercial series. But as a line, I would say it's an A, certainly. And I think for a top load, it might be that LG and Speed Queen are the ones you should look at.
All right, let's go Maytag Whirlpool.
One time they owned, 60% of the market, and they used to sell Kenmore that owned the other 30 or something like that. I think they have finally some interesting product with that agitator that comes out. I'm
Yeah,
not a
in the
big
top load series, yeah.
I'm not a big fan of the non-agitator. I think the design calls for agitation. That's how you stir the clothes. This one has an agitator you can take out for whatever reason. Maybe it's
Yeah, if you have like bedding or if you're doing really bulky loads, something like that, because that's the thing with top loads, you really have to obviously go around that agitator. And it can be a little tougher with bulkier, bigger clothes, which are still, even when you have that higher efficiency without the agitator, you still have to kind of place it around as if it was there to kind of get that proper turning. So either way, it's probably not making a huge difference.
it's on the top loads, you're almost better off going with a Mana, which is very similar to, Maytag's got that cold power. Where it starts in cold and warms up, so you can throw anything in there at the same time. That's kind of interesting, if you don't want to separate your clothes. This is a laundry company, but I don't think you're getting the same value at the same price of, say, the others that we've mentioned here. I think it's a solid B, but it's amazing. It's kind of like a second tier almost.
And even stats sometimes too, like you hear with another brand coming too, is like the controls are a little angled. So if you're stacking, they can be a little bit harder to see sometimes as well on some of those top controls. So just little things like that you always definitely want to keep an eye out.
And if you're looking for something inexpensive, the Mana line, I think it's the same as the other ones at a more affordable price. That's not a bad consideration.
All right, next one's Samsung.
Well, they had their issues with top loads. What were they, exploding or
Yeah,
whatever it was?
yeah,
But that's
with their Flex Wash.
yeah. They've had a lot of features that like add a sock, which actually for me would probably be good. But you could probably wait that load. You don't need to add that as a feature. They had the double wash. They still offer the double wash.
They do that with the Flex Wash, yeah.
Yep. With the washer on the top, a washer on the bottom.
Hand washing,
Hand
things
washing.
like that.
And I think they make great designs. Good. They offer a lot of stuff over 5 cubic feet. I think if you're looking for a bigger wash, you don't want to break the bank. I think G and Samsung are probably the best in that area. But the company kind of scares me from a service standpoint. And again, checking area. But in terms of price, features, good size, they're a strong contender if the company's got service in your area. So what do you think, B?
B.
Yeah.
Electrolux.
I had an Electrolux. I moved out of my house a few years ago. I moved to an apartment, then Electrolux. Fine laundry. You know, they're the ones, they have the boost where it holds the detergent and releases at the right time. But what really is, it's the same as an auto dispenser, and you can do that 32 times in a Whirlpool, or I mean in a G, and 40 times in a Whirlpool. I think it's got good basic features. I'm not sure of reliability. It's a good looking machine. It's 4.5 only, I think, still. It doesn't give you the stackables. Frigidaire and the top loader is just okay. I thought the Electrolux, when I used it, was fine, you know? So I would say, depending on the price, again, you want to make sure, you know, on laundry, buy on a promotion. So it's typically cheaper in promotional times around holidays. And if the pricing is good or better, certainly a consideration. I'd put it as a B.
Yeah, and then also installation-wise, them and actually GE are really the only ones that allow you to reverse the washer door too. So if you're kind of, usually they're set up left and right, washer, dryer, but if you're the opposite and you want to be able to still open away from each other, really those two brands like a GE and Electrolux will still allow you to do
I'd
that.
say that's a B. I'd certainly consider one.
Last one, Midea.
Oof. You know, you're probably not familiar with Midea. Is that how you pronounce it?
Midea, yeah.
No, it is not.
Midea, yeah.
So it's one of the top 7 brands sold in the world. And the thing with them is they're going to give you good features for less money than any brand I've ever heard of in my lifetime working at Yale. Like, we can get every feature you want for like $350 for the washer, $350 in the dryer, and a top load. I'm not sure about front loads. They've got really good other appliances too. But if you're looking for an inexpensive set of top loads and you want to take a chance, now if we carry them, we're going to service what we sell, obviously. But if you want to take a chance and get something very affordable with good features and a top load, if they do half the things they say they're going to do, it's going to be a good brand. But I'd give it a B or a C until until, you know, we don't want to sell something and have it break.
And be aware of the service and where you're going to get that.
Yeah. So that's about it. If you like the information, you hit the subscribe button, and we have more of these videos on the way.